You know, it's funny, man. We watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown on Fox every single week. Well, at least I do. I have to. Because it's my duty. It's my job to do so. But we watch these shows, and we really don't get a sense that it's WrestleMania season. We don't. There's nothing on these shows as of right now that really is speaking to me as far as WrestleMania season. WWE's building towards Super Showdown. WWE's got the Elimination Chamber coming up. That's another story within itself. There's just too many pay-per-views on the road to WrestleMania. Everything should be revolving around WrestleMania. That should be their top priority. That's what they should be building towards. We should be seeing build now, not for Super Showdown, not for the Elimination Chamber. If anything, the Elimination Chamber should have happened this month with the entire month of February left remaining and March to build towards WrestleMania. But that's a whole nother video for itself. If you watch these shows, there's nothing about it that gives you a feeling of WrestleMania. Now, if you are looking at the dirt sheets and you're looking at the rumors and the news and all the speculation going around the community, it feels more like WrestleMania season on the internet, in the wrestling community, than it does on WWE TV. That was amped up on Friday afternoon. Of course, after I had just finished the podcast. That was amped up on Friday with news of AJ Styles and The Undertaker being rumored for a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. Now, I looked at this and I said to myself, okay. I looked at the positives. I looked at the obvious negatives here. And then I'm like, is that truly the best that they have? Is that the best idea that WWE has for WrestleMania? In their world, probably yes, because they live in a mediocre world. Now, with what I'm thinking, I'm not really excited about that match. We're going to go over it on the show today. It's the big story on the show today. But I got to be honest with you, with me looking at that match, I don't really find anything exciting about that. I don't think WWE could tell a story revolving around AJ Styles and The Undertaker that's going to get me excited about seeing them in the ring at WrestleMania. Just a little question I have for you guys. Outside of the first time ever cheesy motto that they have in this company, what is there in that match that makes sense? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Do I get a feeling that The Undertaker kind of wants to go out on top in the last remaining years of his career against top-tier opponents like an AJ Styles? Is he hoping that a match with AJ Styles could bring him back to that WrestleMania 25-26 day where he went up against Shawn Michaels? Because everybody says AJ Styles is this generation's Shawn Michaels. Is that something that is on the mind of The Undertaker? Is The Undertaker thinking, as far as his ability in the ring, that AJ is the safest bet for him to have a great match at WrestleMania? A lot of these things are flowing through my head, but I still think at the end of the day, Undertaker and AJ Styles is a solid plan C. It's a solid third option. I got two more matches, one of which I already talked about in passing, and you guys probably know what that is for The Undertaker. I've mentioned it quite a few times in the last couple weeks alone. There are two other matches that I think would be better suited for WrestleMania than what we are hearing in the rumor mill for AJ Styles and The Undertaker. That's the big story. The other big story today, it's like a comedy show, really. Everybody knew that Vince McMahon fired Michelle Wilson and George Barrios for a specific reason. And that reason was because they did not agree with his vision of the WWE or where he wants to take the company financially into the future. He fired both of them, Barrios and Wilson, because they didn't agree with his vision of WWE. Meltzer talked about the reason why both George Barrios and Michelle Wilson got fired yesterday, and you are not going to believe why they got fired. I'll tell you this right now. They got fired because of common sense. They got fired because they both logically went into a meeting with Vince McMahon with common sense on the mind. They went into a meeting logically prepared, coming with straight facts to Vince McMahon. And they got fired for being logical. Pretty much, they got fired because of the same reason Vic Joseph got removed from Monday Night Raw's commentary team. I'll just leave it at that. We got a lot to go over on the show today. Those are the two big stories. Also, regarding Vince McMahon, he might be stepping away from the WWE. I wish forever. I hope forever. But he seems to be, according to reports, a little bit more private as of late. He seems to be missing more and more shows. And according to Dave Meltzer, he has frequently showed up less and less at the Raw and SmackDown tapings, which leads me to one question. If Vince is not there behind the curtain in Gorilla on Friday nights during SmackDown, why are these shows this bad? That's what I would love to know. And if the shows are this bad and Vince is not there, he's either A, running the show from a cell phone, or B, Bruce needs to go. Bruce needs to go. We got a lot to dive into. I don't want to waste any more of your time. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on the podcast. It's episode 313, part number 2 for your Saturday, February 15th, 2020. If you missed part 1, fire episode. As always, we talked about the Roman Reigns and Bill Goldberg and Bray Wyatt and John Cena saga that seems to be revolving around WrestleMania. It seems like those big 4 names are what WWE is going to be hanging their hat on for WrestleMania season. And if you guys want logic, if you guys want common sense, and you guys want the way WrestleMania should be booked, because I'm always right, 99.9% of the time. I'm wrong occasionally, but this I know I'm right on. Go and check that out and hear what I have to say about the perfect matches for all 4 men and how it should fit on WrestleMania's card. Go and check that out. Link will be down below in the description of this very video, along with NXT, AEW Dynamite. Even got an off-the-script extra on Friday, or actually Thursday night that was uploaded. So make sure you guys go and check all of that out. Monday Night Raw, everything you need, link down below in the description. Follow me on social media, at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. And if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. And while you're at it, if you hit the subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications. Let's get right into the show, man. I want to start off with this Vince McMahon story, and we're going to go and talk about this one first. Update on George Barrios and Michelle Wilson being fired by Vince McMahon. A couple of weeks ago, George Barrios and Michelle Wilson parted ways with the WWE. This came as a surprise to many, and the details were scarce on why they were let go. The rumors were that there was some form of major disagreements on the direction of the company. Now, according to Dave Meltzer, some more details have been exposed, and this may shed some light on what that disagreement could have been about. Potentially, one of the areas of disagreement surrounded talent signings. One of the major strategies since the launch of All Elite Wrestling is to sign a bunch of talent and not let anyone go. Right now, between WWE and NXT, there are over 190 wrestlers being used across all of these different brands and television shows. However, WWE has about 300 wrestlers currently signed. That's a lot of talent getting paid to work on occasional house shows. Barrios and Wilson felt the keeping of unused talent was hurting the bottom line. It's rumored that they felt they needed to drop some contracts to make the profit margin bigger. Are they wrong? No, they're not. And this has been a talking point ever since I coined the term AEW effect. It's exactly what WWE has been doing. They're hoarding talent because they don't want talent to go to any other promotion especially AEW, with a major TV deal. I don't understand that logic. First of all, AEW is not going to sign everybody that WWE lets go. AEW is not going to look at everybody that has a contract coming up in WWE. They're not going to sign every major free agent on the market. They can't do that. They have a business to run as well. Tony Khan's not going to go out there and blow all of his payroll on talent signings while he's trying to make a profit. He's going to sign who he wants and who he thinks is going to benefit their business most. I don't get that logic. Vince has AEW living in his head, rent-free. Just like all these trolls and these cretins on social media who think that I spit out their name on the podcast. Oh, JD, he mentioned me. Thanks for making me live rent-free in your head, bro. Really? Really now? I don't live rent-free, or you don't live rent-free in my head at all. I know I live rent-free in everybody that indirectly tweets me, why are you talking about me unless you're watching me? That's exactly what WWE is doing. They're watching AEW from across the fucking building with a sniper scope, looking at every fucking movement, waiting to take that shot, right? Oh, we got this guy's contract coming up, 5 years. Oh, we got this guy's coming up, 5 years. Dana Brooke, 5 years. Who the fuck is going to give Dana Brooke 5 years? Jinder Mahal, 5 years. When have you seen Jinder Mahal? When was the last time you seen Jinder Mahal? Mojo Rawley, for fuck's sake, got a 5-year contract. Why? Why? Is Michelle Wilson and George Barrios wrong in that way of thinking? No. Look at all the talent that you're signing. You're not even using the fucking talent you have on SmackDown. Where is Mustafa Ali? Why aren't you using Cedric Alexander? What took you so long to start using Andrade? At one point, he wanted out of the company. You're not even using Ricochet in a manner in which Ricochet should be using. You're just using him as fucking guppy chow for Brock Lesnar. Aleister Black sat in a fucking closet for 10 months. The Viking Raiders did nothing and continue to do nothing on the show. Now you're just using them. Now you said, oh, well, look at these guys. Look at these guys. Where the fuck is EC3? Where is EC3? Buddy Murphy is just now being used on Monday Night Raw. I appreciate the youth movement on Monday Night Raw. This is exactly what I would be doing. But it took them for fucking ever to get there. What happened to all the women that you got on the show? You're not even using them, yet you're hoarding women left and right in NXT for what? I can't even get excited about the women on the main roster. You're going to get me excited about the women who are signed to NXT to inevitably get called up and get destroyed? How many people are signed to this company hoping to make TV, knowing that they will never make TV? How many people you have in the PC right now training to be a pro wrestler? How many of them people in the PC are actually going to make NXT TV? They're not. And I stated this since the beginning. They're only going to use who they have to use that give them the best chance of beating AEW. It's not about showcasing new talent anymore. Now it's about beating AEW. Vince doesn't want to make AEW stronger. This is pathetic. And he's trying to kill his company by letting his ego get in the way. With every 5-year contract that he gave out, he's ultimately killing the company piece by piece. So someone spoke up on it. Were they wrong? No. Why would you fire them for having the company's best interest at heart? He fired them because they had the company's best interest at heart. He fired them because it was a blow to his ego. He fired them because he knew they were right and he knew he was wrong. So what happens? In Vince McMahon world, he can never be wrong. He can never be wrong. So he got rid of the ones who told him that he was wrong. He got rid of the ones who were not yes men and women. What an awful fucking decision. What an awful fucking decision. And if this is any indication, if you need any more indication on why Vince McMahon needs to fucking go, this is it. this is it. I don't know why. Who the fuck is investing in this company? That's what I would love to know. I want to know on these fucking shareholder conference calls why nobody has brought up that particular situation. I know if I held shares of stock in this fucking company, that would be one of the first things that I would ask. What are you going to do, fucking fire me? What are you going to do, tell me to get rid of my fucking stock because I'm right? Because I care about the company? Because I want to see the company flourish and make money? They got wrongfully terminated. And then they had an NDA for not speaking about the inner workings of the company, and they can't talk about anything that went on internally in the company working under Vince McMahon. Meltzer probably here is speculating, but if his speculation is exactly what everybody thought, I don't think Meltzer is that far off from being right here. This is exactly why they got fired. They didn't agree with something Vince McMahon said or did. I can absolutely see them bringing that to Vince McMahon's attention because the fucking people who are investing in this company have a fucking pea for brain. And then they got fired for speaking up and speaking logically and bringing a blatant fucking concern to Vince McMahon's table. I don't want to hear it. Goodbye. There's the door. So bigger profit margins would have meant better stock values. When you're the CFO, those numbers probably matter. I would assume. Apparently, Vince McMahon felt otherwise. He is more concerned about AEW than he wants to admit. He even said in the conference call, AEW's business is not hurting our bottom line. AEW is not hurting WWE business. Vince, once upon a time, you were considered a trendsetter, a genius at one point. You're 74 years old right now, and I don't really understand how you sat in front of all these fucking people and said that AEW is not hurting WWE business. They absolutely are, because they're driving you to sign talent, lock them down, giving them more money than they fucking ever deserve. Why? Because you're afraid of them going to AEW. So yes, of course, AEW is hurting WWE business. Every contract that you come up with that says 5 years guaranteed money for someone like Jinder fucking Mahal and Dana Brooke and Mojo Rawley, it's hurting your bottom line. I know if I'm Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, I would be looking at that. Where are these individuals on TV and why are we signing these people to long-term deals, multi-million-dollar deals, and we're getting nothing as far as a return on our investment? Ratings are plummeting. Nobody's coming to the arena to watch these people. They're not even on fucking TV. Vince supposedly remembers how WCW was able to beat him in the ratings. WCW got Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. WWE had them, but WCW made them cool. Oh, don't worry. It's coming for Brody Lee. It's coming for the revival. It's coming for anybody else who wants to go over to AEW. That's been creatively dismantled. Don't worry. AEW already has Moxley and Jericho, and the former Dean Ambrose has never looked better. What did AEW do? They made Moxley. They made Jonathan good, cool, and most importantly, happy. Jericho is cool. And you know for a fucking fact, don't even try and argue with me, Moxley would be Dean Ambrose, and Dean Ambrose would be as boring as fucking dishwater in WWE. Jericho would still be doing the list and fucking losing to God knows who on Monday Night Raw. You all know it. They're so much better off in AEW. Although they managed to make Jake Hager a little bit more interesting, that's even a step up from what he was doing with Jack Swagger. So, Vince is losing it. He's losing it every single fucking week. He's losing it every day he wakes up. He just doesn't have a grasp on what is important anymore. He doesn't know how to create. All he does is kill. He doesn't know what the fans want. He doesn't understand his fan base whatsoever. He doesn't have an eye for top talent anymore. Just look at SmackDown. That's all you need to fucking look at in regards to this situation. And he thinks by signing and giving money away, that it's helping the fucking company. It's bolstering the company. In fact, it's actually hurting the company. Vince just doesn't get it. Barrios and Wilson were fired for that reason. I absolutely believe it 100%. And they got fired for having the best interests of the WWE in their heart. How fucking pathetic is Vince McMahon? Speaking of Vince McMahon, he's becoming exceptionally more private and missing WWE shows. This is coming from Fightful Select and Sean Ross Sapp. Vince apparently only attends around half of the Monday Night Raw shows, and he almost never attends the SmackDown tapings, with Bruce Pritchard in charge of that show. They say on their website, and I quote, "We're told that Vince was rarely, if ever, at these shows between Thanksgiving and the February 5th episode of SmackDown." Fightful also reports that when he is in attendance, he is still very much hands-on, but compared to even last year, his attendance has dropped significantly. It is well known that Vince would often undergo ridiculous travel schedules to ensure that he was at Raw, but it seems he has more important things to concentrate on. He's 74 years old and is also in the process of reviving the XFL. Over on Raw, it was noted that Vince was around approximately half the time, reports Fightful. It was reported last week that the following of the co-presidents that he once had, Barrios and Wilson, that there is currently no plan for a successor if the unthinkable were to happen and Vince was to pass away. Hopefully, we are still, in this day and age where youth is going to take a precedent in the company. Hopefully, they are on their way to hopefully building, new stars and having that one big face of the brand that we were never really subjected to since John Cena left. I've always stated, and I will continue to state, that this company will be much better off if Vince McMahon is gone, and I firmly believe that. I don't want to wish ill will on anybody, but I just wish that he'd go away. I really do. And it sucks that we care so much about the company. We care more about the company than most of the people working there do. Most of the people there just want a paycheck and only care for a paycheck. We care about the fucking heart and soul of WWE. Vince doesn't even give a shit about the WWE anymore. He doesn't. And you could see that in the actions that he has gone and done. And Wilson and Barrios being fired is at the top of the list. Now, Monday Night Raw is actually a little bit more watchable. I'm not even going to say it's a good show. Because, a string of good shows is not really, I guess, deserving of a thumbs up from me. Is it watchable? Yes, that's all I'll say. When it gets to an NXT level, then I'll say it's a good show. They need to get to that NXT consistent level. And the 3 hours is killing the show. The 3 hours is too much. If it was 2 hours, I think my tune would change. Paul Heyman has done, or whatever influence, I'm not even going to say Paul Heyman has done, his influence, his say, on whatever's going on there right now, obviously is showing more than it did in the first place. Now, whether that's Vince McMahon not being there, or Vince McMahon being there and openly listening to Paul Heyman, I don't know. I don't work there. I don't know. But the show has gotten to a watchable state. The show has gotten to a point where I don't complain about it like I used to. Now, that's reserved for SmackDown. If Vince is not there during Raw and during SmackDown and has been just not there between Survivor Series and the February 5th episode, why is SmackDown still so fucking atrocious? You know why it's still atrocious, folks? Because Vince McMahon hired somebody that is exactly like him. He hired Bruce Pritchard to ruin these shows. He hired Bruce Pritchard because he knows Bruce Pritchard is going to fulfill his vision when he is not there. Now, I felt that way about Paul Heyman, but for some reason, Monday Night Raw is actually getting a little bit more watchable. So, I don't know if that's the case with Paul Heyman. I honestly think Paul Heyman knows what he has to do to make the show better. He still has that Vince McMahon cloud hanging over him, and he can't fully embrace what Monday Night Raw needs to be. That Vince McMahon fucking cloud is still hanging over him. Meanwhile, on SmackDown, he hired somebody that is a Vince McMahon mini-me in Bruce Pritchard, and his vision is being lived out through Bruce Pritchard. So Vince could take a night off. Vince could go do XFL stuff. He could go to this meeting and go to that meeting. Vince could stay home and run the fucking show via telephone, via text, via video call. Doesn't matter. He's got somebody there in his place that's going to do the same fucking thing that he would do. Vince doesn't give a shit because he has Bruce there. Does Bruce want to make the show better? Does Bruce bring anything to the table about making the show better? Of course not. He's going to stick his thumb up Vince McMahon's ass, and he's going to do exactly what Vince wants. And when Vince is not there, he's going to do what Vince would have done. He doesn't give a shit about the talent. He doesn't give a shit about the show. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He took a paycheck to be a fucking cocksucker. That's exactly what he did. Tell me I'm wrong. No, you can't. You can't. Watch the show. If you don't get that feeling, I don't know what the fuck you're watching. You ain't watching SmackDown back in 2016, I'll tell you that. He's becoming exceptionally private. Go away! Go away! I am sick to my stomach over the fact that SmackDown is so garbage. I'm physically dreading. It's Friday as I record this. It's 2 o'clock. I'm dreading watching this shit tonight. Fucking ridiculous. It was reported last week with Barrios and Wilson there's no plan for a successor. Great. So he fired somebody for them being right, and then he's got no backup plan. Typical Vince McMahon. Typical Vince McMahon. WWE Elimination Chamber. I reported on Thursday in the Off the Script Extra video. If you guys want to go and check that out, link will be down below. The Elimination Chamber main event was leaked. And it wasn't all that exciting, and quite honestly, it was very predictable. Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, the man who could run fast. I'm not sure if you realize that. Shinsuke Nakamura. Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode will compete in an elimination chamber match, with the winner earning a chance to face the Universal Champion at WrestleMania. First of all, what has Baron Corbin done to be in the Elimination Chamber? This is just Bruce's fucking way of keeping them in the ring together. It's like he's watching. This is his version, honestly. This is Bruce Pritchard's version of watching a grade A porno. Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin in the ring together. What has Baron Corbin done for a Universal Championship opportunity? Please, I would love for you to elaborate that for me. Why? Because he's a heel? There is no reason why Baron Corbin is in a Elimination Chamber match for a shot at Bray Wyatt and the Universal Championship. Robert Roode? I mean, the guy was suspended for 30 days. He comes back and then, boom, he gets an opportunity for the Universal Championship. Does anything make sense? Do you even give a shit about logic? Now, Daniel Bryan, I can understand. Even him, he doesn't even deserve a Universal Championship match, but he's fucking Daniel Bryan, so you're not going to get a peep out of me. Roman Reigns, all right, I could see Roman Reigns being there. Braun Strowman, he's the Intercontinental Champion, which means he's right under the Universal Champion, so that I could make an exception for. Shinsuke Nakamura, I could see that being the case as well as the former Intercontinental Champion. But Corbin and Roode? Bro, that doesn't make sense whatsoever. So the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, their official Twitter account tweeted the following. March 8th at the Wells Fargo Center, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, King Corbin, and Bobby Roode will compete in an elimination chamber match, with the winner earning a chance to face the Universal Champion at WrestleMania. Now, that's what they tweeted out. Dave Meltzer discussed this on Wrestling Observer Live, and a final decision regarding the chamber entrance has not been decided. And I don't know why the Wells Fargo Center would do that if it wasn't the case. The only other reason why they did it was because the ticket sales for the Elimination Chamber were dismal. And they wanted to get something as far as marketing out for you to go and purchase some tickets to this fucking atrocious show. That's the only other reason why they would do that. Now, we got Super Showdown coming up next week. WWE should honestly be building towards the Elimination Chamber only. I hope to see some qualifying matches on who gets into the chamber. That's what should be done. Your entire SmackDown episode, being that we already have a WWE Championship match decided coming out of the Royal Rumble, every single match on SmackDown should be an elimination match. You win, you get in. You lose, too bad. Back to the showers you go. Now, what I would do, and I don't really care for Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns, believe it or not, WWE won't show you that in the fucking highlights. They'll show you Drew McIntyre eliminating Seth Rollins as the final entrant on his way to winning the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns was the last one eliminated in the Royal Rumble. Being that he's on SmackDown, he gets an automatic pass to be in the Elimination Chamber. I think that's fair and square for Mr. Reigns. He's already in. So, Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, Baron Corbin, and whoever, Bobby Roode, if this is the case, all need to have qualifying matches to get into the Elimination Chamber. It's what needs to be done. Whoever's in the chamber, that's what needs to be done. But apparently it's a rumor killer. This is not the Field of Six. And Dave Meltzer says that the final decision regarding the chamber entrance has not been decided. I think the majority of those will end up being correct, and maybe one or two will be changed. So we'll see what happens. But that is what Dave Meltzer is reporting via the Wrestling Observer Live. The Bella Twins and Jushin Thunder Liger to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. The WWE Hall of Fame is approaching, and more names are coming out as proposed inductees. More inductees have been revealed this week by WrestleVotes when they tweeted out a number of names. They say, and I quote on Twitter, "I've heard several names talked about for this year's Hall of Fame. Was only able to get confirmation on two of them as of now. They are the Bella Twins and Jushin Thunder Liger, on top of the NWO and Dave Bautista already announced. The most shocking of the year is the recently retired Jushin Thunder Liger. Liger is a legend, but not in the WWE. He only wrestled one match in the WWE, and that was against Tyler Breeze at TakeOver Brooklyn 1. I believe that was TakeOver Brooklyn 1. Now, Liger retired at the beginning of the year in New Japan at Wrestle Kingdom. He wrestled his final matches at Wrestle Kingdom 14, where he was defeated by teams led by Ryosuke Taguchi and Hiromu Takahashi. The other names announced were the Bella Twins. The Bellas last competed for the WWE in October of 2018 when Nikki Bella was beaten by Ronda Rousey. Please don't remind me. Please don't remind me. That is the furthest thing from a fucking revolution that you could possibly conceive. They debuted for WWE in 2008, but won both the Divas Championship, or they both won the Divas Championship. Both women recently revealed that they are pregnant, likely signaling an end to their wrestling careers. So that's that. I know a lot of people are out there about the Bella Twins. They don't deserve it, and how could you do this, and blah, 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 blah. Listen, to save everybody a fucking headache and to save some fucking cretin, some fucking slob who lives on social media, who's listening to the podcast right now and is gonna fucking shadow tweet me, right? Listen, I'm gonna break it down for you in the most logical way that I can. Jushin Thunder Liger is worthy of any Hall of Fame. So this might just be WWE wanting to really idolize a legend in Jushin Thunder Liger. What does he have to do with WWE? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But are you going to turn away Jushin Thunder Liger from a Hall of Fame in any pro wrestling world? No, you're not. And WWE needs to sell tickets. And WrestleMania, wherever they are are the smartest marks that there are in any fucking city for any show, any time of year. That is a reason to come to the Hall of Fame, to hear him speak, to see him get inducted on top of Batista and the NWO. That's like the fucking side dish that comes out with your dinner. And you eat that first before you even attack your dinner. That is that. Now, the Bella Twins. The Bella Twins. I'm not even going to argue with anybody. Am I a fan of Nikki Bella and Brie Bella? The answer is no. In fact, Brie Bella might be one of the worst female wrestlers that I think I've ever seen. Ever. The only reason why I'm saying they deserve the Hall of Fame is because they've had major influence on WWE being a mainstream act. They've had major influence on the women as far as bringing awareness to what they have done for the women's division. I'm not talking about how it sits now in its dismal state. I'm talking about them being big enough and celebrity enough to go out there and branch out and do their own thing, yet at the same time still bring awareness to the WWE and the women's evolution. Do the Bella Twins deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame? At the end of the day, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I am not looking at the WWE Hall of Fame induction for the Bella Twins as strictly being in ring only. Brie was terrible, but I gotta admit, Nikki Bella was awful. Did Nikki Bella actually get better in the ring? Yeah, she was very comparable in the ring. She wasn't an embarrassment in the ring. She went in there, she broke her fucking neck, number one, which, give the woman some props, number one. Number two, she never really made a mess on anything. She was intense when she needed to be. She didn't really look like she was out of place. This is just from what I remember. But that's not even why they're going into the Hall of Fame. Their championships and their accomplishments and this and that in the ring mean nothing. They are a global act. They are a celebrity act. They're doing merchandise. They're doing Birdie B. They got their own wine. They got their own reality TV series that's been on the fucking air for 9 seasons. How? I don't know. They got their own reality TV series that branched off from Total Divas. Now they got Total Bellas. I'm not sure if that's still on or not, but the point of the matter is, the whole fucking reason why I'm saying this is, they are huge advocates and a huge reason why the evolution of women's wrestling is where it is today. You're not going to take someone like a Sasha Banks and a Charlotte Flair and a Becky Lynch to achieve and reach the audiences that they have reached. There's a reason why they're going into the Hall of Fame, and it's for everything that they've done outside of pro wrestling to help what is going on right now with the women's division. Simple. I'm not a fan. I don't give a shit if they're in or they're out. I don't give a shit if they return or not. I don't give a shit if they're having kids or not, or who they're married to. I don't care about anything that they're doing. I'd love to have a taste of their wine, though. I'd be interested in that. But regardless, this is why they're in. And instead of me being a fucking idiot and bashing the Bella Twins and being a mark and, they don't belong in the WWE Hall of Fame because they're not good wrestlers. They're in the WWE Hall of Fame for the reality of the situation, and it's everything that I just mentioned. And if you don't agree with that, I could not give a shit about what you think. That's the reality of the situation. That's why they're going in the Hall of Fame. Simple. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I don't watch the Hall of Fame. I don't give a shit about the Hall of Fame. There are other things that weekend that are more important than the Hall of Fame. I don't care. Moving on. Liger was in New Japan. He retired in New Japan. New Japan is coming to MSG. AEW is not allowing their stars to wrestle for New Japan at MSG. AEW and New Japan do not have a working agreement, although it might greatly benefit if both companies were to work together in the long run. New Japan Pro Wrestling is returning to Madison Square Garden. Wrestle Dynasty will take place in New York City Saturday, August 22nd, but they won't have AEW's help. Wrestling Observer Live and Dave Meltzer confirmed that Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho will not be permitted to perform at this show. There will be no Jericho. there will be no Moxley on that show. Their contracts do not allow them to do New Japan in the United States unless there's a formal working relationship the two sides have in place. Even this, I don't see. I can tell you right now, it's 100% no Jericho and no Moxley. Now, Madison Square Garden is very expensive to run. That's why WWE really doesn't do any live shows there, pay-per-views or Raw or SmackDown, really. I mean, I think the last year's show was the first time in a while that they actually did it. They do run regular house shows there every Christmas. It's a tradition for WWE. But it is also very important and huge, for New Japan as far as a status for New Japan to actually get into Madison Square Garden. Now, AEW wants to eventually run a show in MSG, and no doubt, I have no question in my mind that they'd sell that shit out. But they're not going to allow two of their biggest stars to help New Japan sell out one of the most famous arenas in the entire world. Now, for all we know, Moxley will be world champion at that point, and more than likely, he'll be getting ready for Kenny Omega in AEW at All Out. That's the way I see things going for AEW as far as storylines go. This is a big get for New Japan. It really is. The last time New Japan was working in Madison Square Garden was with Ring of Honor. Now, that show I heard was great outside of the Ring of Honor presence. Now, I'm assuming with what we're seeing with this renewed faith in Ring of Honor and Marty Scurll really taking over as creative, and his presence is now with Ring of Honor even more greater than it was. I do see a huge Ring of Honor presence at this show in the summer. I mean, I would be surprised if there's no Ring of Honor presence at this Wrestle Dynasty show. It's going to be quite difficult for New Japan to sell the show out on their own. With Ring of Honor and that renewed presence there with Marty Scurll, I do think that it's going to benefit both to work together here even more so. It seems like that relationship is kind of back on the positive and back on the upswing where we all thought it was kind of dead. And then when Marty Scurll signed that big, lucrative contract with Ring of Honor, it kind of got things back to a normal feeling between both sides. I do see that happening. And I wouldn't be surprised if they sell out Madison Square Garden again. But for all the bad that I heard about the Ring of Honor presence at that last Madison Square Garden show, I don't think we're going to get that same instance here. With Marty Scurll being, a Ring of Honor creative and head of creative with Ring of Honor and the New Japan doing whatever they're doing. I know August usually has the G1. The G1 finals, I think, got pushed back to the middle of October. So that entire thing is taking place in September, I think, with the finals taking place in October. So this is pretty much substituting the pushback of the G1 Climax. This is great. And it's directly competing with NXT TakeOver where's SummerSlam? In Boston. It's going to be NXT TakeOver Boston. So it's going to be a good night. You get to watch New Japan Wrestle Dynasty from New York City. You get to watch TakeOver from Boston, about a 4-hour train ride away from each other. Great stuff. Why would anybody complain? And I'm not surprised that Moxley and Jericho are not going to be on that show. If you guys remember, Jericho was able to work in New Japan at the Wrestle Kingdom show because that was not in the United States. Jericho has never worked for any New Japan show here in the States. Jon Moxley was in the G1 Climax, and their first show kicked off in Dallas. He wasn't even on that show because he was not able to compete on American soil for a different company. In Japan, it's different. It's not going to affect AEW here with seeing Jon Moxley on TV for another promotion here in the United States. Exclusive to the States. You can go and do what you want to work New Japan when you want, as long as it's not here in America. Simple. There's no reason why anybody should be confused about this situation. It was the same thing last year. It's going to continue with several talents here in 2020. Jericho, Moxley, Brody Lee, when he comes in, he's probably going to want to work New Japan as well. Lance Archer, if he comes on in, right, he's not going to be able to work New Japan unless he is over in Japan. Maybe they give him that right to do that. Who knows if AEW is going to sign Jeff Cobb. Kenny Omega is allowed to work New Japan if he wants, when the time is right, in Japan, not here in the States, right? Same thing with the Bucks, probably. If they want, they can. If New Japan wants them, I don't know why they wouldn't. Go ahead, but not here in the States. Should not be confusing to anybody. So I'm interested in this show myself. I'm interested to see how it takes shape. And like I said, I think that they will sell it out for August 22nd. Now, ticket information has not been revealed on that. As soon as I hear anything, obviously, I will talk about that here on the podcast. But like I said, they are directly competing with NXT TakeOver Boston at the TD Garden in Boston SummerSlam weekend. I might have to make my way out there for SummerSlam weekend, being that it's a 4-hour train ride from Penn Station to Boston. So let's see what happens there. Guys, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, but before that, and I mean literally a break, because what I have sitting next to me is something that I've been waiting on for so long, and I can't wait to put this bad boy in the freezer, chill it, and have it tonight. I am looking at a strawberry cheesecake Berliner that Tavor had sent me. And I'm taking a beer break right now because I'm thirsty. Listen to this. Tell me this doesn't sound good. It is from Wildworks Brewing, and it's a strawberry cheesecake Berliner with strawberry puree, cheesecake, and milk sugar. Oh my God, it's room temperature, and I want to open this thing right now. Where did I get it? I got it from Tavor. You guys could get this and 7,000 other beers from Tavor. All you have to do is download the app. It's free on your Google or iPhone device. Download the app, sign up. It's absolutely free. You choose your box, you choose your beer, and you're on your way to discovering a plethora of craft beer. If you guys sign up, use code SCRIPT at checkout. For every purchase you guys make over $25, you guys are going to get $10 off your purchase. That is directly for all my Off the Script listeners because Tavor sponsors the podcast. Go and download the app. Get your craft beer. $25 or more. Use code SCRIPT at checkout. As long as it's $25 or more, you're going to get that $10 off using our promo code, man. I can't wait to open this bad boy, and I can't wait to come back and give you guys the rest of the news right here on Off the Script. All right, man, let's talk about my bro, Matt Riddle, bro. Matt Riddle got into a little scuffle with Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. I immediately thought that this was a work. And then I seen WWE upload a YouTube video to their Performance Center YouTube channel that showed Matt Riddle expressing himself, oh, I'm going to get the match with Brock Lesnar whether they like it or not, bro. That was after the confrontation or the supposed confrontation with Brock Lesnar. And I'm like, it's got to be a work. At that point, why would WWE put something out there? And after all the reports of Lesnar saying it's never going to happen and shut your mouth and blah, blah, blah. What's the reality of the situation between you and I, asked Brock Lesnar. And then I see this from Matt Riddle. I'm like, this is a work. Gotta be a work. Then I get word from Fightful that this was all legit. The backstage confrontation was legit. There's legit heat on Matt Riddle. Vince McMahon punished Matt Riddle in the Royal Rumble. All true. All true. But I think if they don't think there's money in Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar, then these people should not be running the company. I'm sorry. They know that there is money in Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar. Now, why do I think Vince punished Matt Riddle? Is it to do with the Brock Lesnar situation? I don't think so. I honestly think it stemmed from his comments about Goldberg. He was very adamant about Bill Goldberg and The Undertaker and how terrible Bill Goldberg is in the ring and how awful that match was. Riddle didn't do anything but be Matt Riddle. Riddle didn't say anything that was false. He didn't really go out there and say anything wrong. Was his attitude wrong with the company that he's working for? Yes. Vince said or Vince was reportedly stated in saying that he doesn't like Matt Riddle's attitude about the hierarchy in WWE. So he's seen the first chance he got in the Royal Rumble to punish him and have Baron Corbin eliminate him in 40 seconds, which is a crime in itself, but that's Vince McMahon and how petty the company is. So I heard from Fightful, I heard from Sean Ross Sapp, who I honestly think is a great guy. He's very credible. I always, admire his work and whatever else he's doing on the channel. And for Fightful, he's in the know. He's one of those guys that you just know is in the know. Then I see this report. As if everybody was like, oh, it's a shoot, it's legit. I'm thinking it's a work. I'm thinking it's a shoot, and then I see this other shit, and then I think it's a work. Now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is a work. I don't give a shit what Sean Ross Sapp tells anybody, or Dave Meltzer, or fucking Mike Johnson, or any of these fucking clowns. Ryan, Satan. I don't give a shit what any of them say. My initial thought was that it was a work. I was told it was a shoot. Now I'm thinking, bro, this is a work. This is a work. Matt Riddle was given the green light by WWE to continue calling out Brock Lesnar. So why would they go and do that if Brock Lesnar has such an issue with Matt Riddle? Why would WWE give Matt Riddle the green light if Brock Lesnar has such a bad issue with Matt Riddle? Now, despite the reports of backstage heat, it looks like WWE has no issues with him calling out Brock Lesnar. As noted Sunday, Riddle at a house show, live event in Vegas, Saturday night. He said again what he's been saying for months, that he will get his hands on Lesnar and he will retire him. Most of us know the story by now. Riddle and Lesnar were involved in a verbal altercation backstage at the Royal Rumble, and as the story goes, Lesnar told Riddle that he has no plans to work with him ever. Later that night, WWE filmed Riddle after he was eliminated from the Men's Royal Rumble, and he had more words for Lesnar. If they didn't want it, they wouldn't have filmed Matt Riddle saying that. And then, now they film everything. They film everything. But they filmed this and uploaded it. There's a difference between filming and hiding. This is filming and uploading for everybody to see, everybody to pick up on, and everybody to report. This is a work. The video is up still on the Performance Center YouTube channel. Dave Meltzer reported on the Wrestling Observer website that, from what he was told, WWE and NXT gave Riddle permission to follow up on the Lesnar stuff Saturday night. Really now. So if you're one of those who believe the Lesnar-Riddle stuff is a work shoot, you might be onto something. There might be some work, there might be some shoot, but all I know is that Triple H even said it at the conference call, which will go over tomorrow live on YouTube, right before TakeOver. We'll have a little fun on YouTube live here on the channel. Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar are big boys. If anybody had a problem with it, they would have came directly to Triple H, and he hasn't heard a word. So you know what? He's going to let Matt Riddle be Matt Riddle. And if Triple H was upset with Matt Riddle, why would he go on to win the Dusty Classic with Pete Dunne? Why would Matthew Riddle win the Dusty Classic? Why would he be given as much TV time? Why would he be given vignettes to get his character out there and kind of embrace his high times? Why would he be in a video package with Triple H himself on Triple H's private jet, taking them to NXT TakeOver Portland? Why are they more than likely going to win the tag team championships? Man, if that is what you call a punishment, bring it down upon me. Rain it on me, motherfucker. This is a work. You will see the match. I don't know when, but if the retirement match has been teased here, and who knows, we might see WrestleMania 37 in Los Angeles. We might see WrestleMania 38 in Las Vegas. We might see WrestleMania 39 in Minnesota. Minnesota, Lesnar's from Minnesota. Lesnar, Riddle, retirement. Maybe at that point, Matt Riddle will have grown up a little bit and WWE will deem him worthy of the Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But this is a work, folks, and I'm enjoying it. Everybody's talking about it. Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne are the best thing on WWE TV right now, or on NXT in general. Just that alone, that show alone, they're the best thing on that show. And I'm loving the tag team. I'm loving what Matt Riddle's doing. It's a sin for you to think anything less of Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle in 2019 was one of the best in-ring performers that company had all year. The quality of work that Matt Riddle has done in the ring is in the upper echelon of everybody, period, in that company. And he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. This is a product. Matt Riddle's in-ring work was great before he came to the WWE. It's getting better every time we see him. And Matt Riddle is a product of him being himself. Why would you ever tone down what Matt Riddle is doing? Don't. You're killing a good thing if that's the case. I'm glad Triple H is allowing Matt Riddle to be Matt Riddle. Because if he wasn't, I don't think Matt Riddle would be in our eyes as a future piece of this company the way he sits right now. Reason why Sami Zayn. Speaking of NXT, Sami Zayn, the heart and soul, once upon a time of NXT. Reason why Sami Zayn is not allowed to wrestle on WWE TV. Dave Meltzer noted that Sami Zayn has not been wrestling on TV because of a creative decision and not because of an injury, although he has dealt with shoulder issues in the past. Although Zayn hasn't been wrestling on TV as of late, he has done so on some live events in recent months. He wrestled on some shows in December as part of a six-man tag team with Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro as his partners, obviously. He also wrestled on 2 live events last month. His last singles match was in October. Aside from the creative decision, it's possible that WWE and Zayn want to limit his bumps due to the history of shoulder issues. As of right now, he continues to act in a managerial role for Cesaro and Nakamura, and what could be the revival, as we've seen on WWE SmackDown Friday night, which I predicted, and boom, it happened. I pat myself on the back for that one. Don't expect anything to change with Zayn's status this month since WWE is building towards Super Showdown, and Zayn has not made any of the last shows and is not expected to fly out to Saudi Arabia for that show. In related news, Super Showdown is a waste of time, and if you guys want my report on Goldberg and The Fiend, you guys can watch either the Off the Script Extra on Thursday night or Off the Script yesterday. Links will be down below in the description. Zayn is great. I miss old school Sami Zayn, the heart and soul of NXT Sami Zayn, but WWE wasn't doing anything with Sami Zayn. They had fucked him up long before he was injured, so he came back and, he tried to get that treatment of, we'll put him out there in the ring. He lost I don't think he won a fucking match. He's lost every single match he was in. They don't appreciate Sami Zayn. They do appreciate Sami Zayn on the microphone, though. Sami Zayn is one of the best on the microphone. He's an excellent heel. Excellent heel. And he's a great, just advocate for Cesaro and Nakamura. I didn't think it was going to work. I thought it was an oddball pairing. But here I said last week or 2 weeks ago that if you pair Sami Zayn and give him the Chris Jericho treatment, right? He doesn't need to wrestle. He can wrestle when he wants. Have him be that Chris Jericho type guy on the microphone. You got Nakamura, who could be a perfect guy for the main event scene if they want to build him back up. Cesaro, perfect for the mid-card. The Revival, perfect for the tag team division. You got your own little inner circle there on SmackDown. Because I look at Inner Circle, I look at Santana, I look at Ortiz, I look at Sammy Guevara, I look at Jake Hager. It's an oddball pairing. Then you got Jericho leading these guys. You got the Latinos, you got Big Hurt, you got Sammy. It's just like a mixture of different fucking things going on there. I see the same thing here with Sammy's group that doesn't have a name. And he's great in that role. Sami Zayn generates real heel heat. People legitimately hate him for the character he's playing on TV. It's great. But why he won't wrestle? I think at this point, we're fortunate enough not to see him wrestle, even though we know what he's capable of. Because WWE wasn't doing anything with him anyway. This is a good role for him. Keeps him out of the ring. He's got a WWE paycheck coming in. He's doing it to the best of his ability. He's one of the best in the company on the microphone. Sad thing is, he's got 2.5, 3 years left on his current WWE contract. How long before we see El Generico in an AEW ring? I don't know. Sami Zayn's killing it. I just wish he had a bigger role. I wish WWE Creative would go out there and give his guys some fucking importance on that show. You know, the New Day, instead of feuding with the fucking Usos, I think the New Day could really square it up with another stable that's achieving some dominance on SmackDown. But I don't put anything past Bruce. Bruce is a fucking failure. And his failures are now bleeding onto SmackDown, which is a fucking failure in itself. Speaking of failure, WWE's version of Matt Hardy is a failure. Matt Hardy's run in WWE is a failure. But Matt Hardy is reportedly set for life. Now, before I even get into the story by Meltzer, WWE has booked for Monday Matt Hardy versus Randy Orton in a no-holds-barred match. Why? Can't you let the guy walk out on his own 2 feet? It's over. Now, I don't know if Matt Hardy signed the new deal or not, being that he's fucking on TV here. To me, just from an outsider's perspective looking in, this looks like a way to punish and embarrass Matt Hardy. No holds barred with Randy Orton. Randy Orton's not going to lose here in a feud right now, a major marquee match with Edge at WrestleMania. As if the concerto wasn't enough. I don't understand you. Everybody thought he was written off TV Monday. Now he is back on Monday this week in a no-holds-barred match. Great. It's either one of 2 things. One, I wish for it not to be the case. Maybe Randy Orton's going to break him so much that he goes broken and he signed the new deal. Or this is WWE's way of embarrassing him. I'm going to go with option B, Mr. Sajak. I don't know. I'll take L, please, Pat. Loser. That's what Matt Hardy is, loser. I don't think he's a loser. WWE thinks he's a loser. He's always been that other Hardy, so get set for that on Monday. Should be fun, but I don't expect anything to come out of it. But Dave Meltzer says Matt Hardy is set for life, according to Meltzer. Hardy doesn't need the money from his next contract to keep him going financially. That must be incredible for Matt Hardy. Saved his money. Good on him. It means that he doesn't have to pick the highest bidder. If money was a concern for him, then obviously WWE would be the easiest and first choice. Hardy could take a huge contract and be used rarely, like he's been, and just sit at home and spend time with his kids and his wife. However, Hardy creative control is right now the much bigger issue at hand. It doesn't appear that it is an option right now for him on the main roster while Vince McMahon is still in charge. However, Vince McMahon isn't just going to let Matt Hardy walk away. You cannot stop somebody that's already made a decision, Mr. McMahon. And what was that? George Barrios and Michelle Wilson made sense? Why are you going to use Matt Hardy when you have no plans? Or why are you going to sign Matt Hardy when you got no plans to use him? Vince will make like he's using him, but then 6 months from now, whatever. 4.5 years just to go fucking sit in catering, you know? The Hardy-Orton segment was one of the highest rated segments on Raw. That could be another reason why they're doing this. Vince doesn't seem like, someone who is going to, ignore the ratings. He's seen the ratings for that segment, and he's using Matt Hardy and Randy Orton again this week. So he's squeezing whatever juice is left in Matt Hardy before Matt Hardy actually walks. So what options would Vince give to Matt Hardy as far as creative freedom? According to Meltzer, WWE could offer Hardy a deal to go to NXT. Hardy would be a huge name on the show. He could work with younger guys and get them over. Hardy could also have creative freedom and room to create his broken character. Would that be enough for him to stay? I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what, if that's the case, Evil Uno, bro, you better start looking for a new Exalted One. And Christopher Daniels ain't it. You better off bringing me in for the fucking Exalted One role. I could be exalted. Everybody fucking hates me. Let me do it. So all signs are pointing to Hardy going to AEW. I hope that's the case. There have been teases about him being the Exalted One for the Dark Order. He's got history with the Bucks. He's made mention or a tease of it on his Free to Delete series as of this week. We got Jim Ross mentioning the Young Bucks as far as what happened at the end of that tag team title match on AEW. He called them the Bucks of Youth. Now, why would he say that? Nobody's said that or described the Young Bucks being the Bucks of Youth but Matt Hardy. Is that him kind of throwing a little Easter egg at somebody and letting the cat out of the bag that Matt Hardy is on his way in. Because why would he say, oh, look, it's the Bucks of Youth? It's a very oddball comment. And nobody really refers to them as that but Matt Hardy. Just very bizarre. So people are clinging to that statement he made on commentary. Impact is another place he could go, Ring of Honor. According to Dave Meltzer, that might not be high profile enough for Matt Hardy, and Ring of Honor and Impact, dead companies, really. Nobody's going there to revitalize a career. AEW is where they're going, especially with the situation going on there. I'm pretty sure they're paying him a handsome amount of money. Tony Khan is a wrestling fan through and through. He knows how important the Hardys have been for pro wrestling and how important they were to all of our childhoods. He's probably going to throw money at Matt Hardy. Come on in, do what you need to do, be the exalted one, and you're good to go. You're going to generate ratings that way. It's going to be a good time. This is going to make the Dark Order watchable. I am on the fence about this, but if you get Matt Hardy as the exalted one, man, it's going to be the most must-see segments every week. I'm telling you right now. It's going to be great. So Hardy's landing spot could be decided upon in the next 3 weeks. His contract's up in the beginning of March. He could walk that week. We could see him as the exalted one. And all they got to do is the exalted one is coming next week. You're going to watch. You're going to watch. I can't wait. What I can't stand is the fact that AEW listens to their fans and WWE does not. I want to see Matt Hardy in AEW. What I don't want to see is the red light in Bray Wyatt's matches return again. Now, there are reports this evening, or as of last night, this morning, that the red light could be back for Bray Wyatt. Now, we got Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble, and there was no red light. I'm like, holy shit, hallelujah. We got no red light. I could see an actual fucking Fiend match in natural lighting. Now, Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt both complained about the light. Daniel Bryan didn't want to wrestle Bray Wyatt in the red light. So maybe Bryan went to WWE Creative. Maybe he went to... the red light makes my white teeth shine through. You know? But Bryan has some sort of creative control, and he's obviously going back and forth with Wyatt on this storyline. So he might have went to creative. He might have went to, Pete Dunne, Kevin Dunn, and said, listen, bro, no more red light. I can't stand it. I got to wrestle on natural lighting. And I think it looked fantastic. And the entire Fiend character is, look, I don't want to look at somebody wrestling in a fucking red light. I get it. He's scary. I get it. It fits the image. All right, you could do red lighting for the entrance. You don't need to see the red lighting in the match, during the match. The Fiend and his body language and his mask and his look is all you need. It's ominous enough just looking at him. We don't need the aesthetics of the red light. Plus, I want to have my fucking eyesight at the end of the evening, please. Fucking go blind watching this guy wrestle. According to Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, the red light was back for a dark match between The Fiend and The Miz at a recent SmackDown house show, which would suggest that it might be coming back. He says Wyatt beat The Miz to keep the Universal title using the mandible claw. They brought back the red tinting during this match, so I guess Bryan asked for it to be removed. They had a great match, and then they brought it back for this. End quote. Seth Rollins, who Wyatt defeated in the red light at Super Showdown in 2019, has openly been critical of the red lighting himself. Everybody's been critical of the red lighting. Rollins has been critical. Wyatt himself said, this is not my idea. Take it up with management. Said it on an Instagram story. Bryan didn't like the red lighting. Get rid of the red lighting. This is not what we need for this guy. Natural lighting. Everybody critically praised the match at Royal Rumble. Now you want to take a step backwards and give me the red lighting again? Why? For once in your fucking life, listen to the fans. The majority of us want natural lighting. The others, who are brain dead fucking idiots, want the red lighting for whatever fucking reason. I would like to have The Fiend in natural lighting. I would like to have my fucking eyesight at the end of his match. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for. And I can't imagine Goldberg wrestling and spearing and jackhammering in red lighting. Same thing with Roman or John Cena, whoever the fucking fiend is wrestling at WrestleMania, in red lighting. You're going to light up an entire stadium of 80,000 fucking people in red lighting? Give me a break. We're not in fucking kiddie land. This is pro wrestling. The guy is wearing a fucking creepy mask. That's all you need. The look of Bray Wyatt and the ominous look of Bray Wyatt is all you need to focus in on. It sells the entire character. The red lighting is nothing but a nuisance. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Here we go. Here we go. The topic of discussion here. The Undertaker, AJ Styles, WrestleMania 36. We got a rumor of this taking place in Tampa. AJ Styles could potentially, if the rumors are correct, could have a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania in Tampa for WrestleMania 36. Now, according to a report from WrestleZone, who sucks, by the way, take this with a grain of salt. Don't know how these people are still in business or have sources. Styles is currently planned to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania this year at Raymond James Stadium, April 5th in Tampa, Florida. Styles is currently out with a shoulder injury and has not seen the light of day on WWE television since the Royal Rumble. Styles is currently being advertised for this gauntlet match, the two-week trophy gauntlet match at the WWE Super Showdown show on February 27th. So if they're advertising AJ Styles, I'm assuming that AJ Styles is going to be in this two-week trophy gauntlet match. Another worthless trophy that somebody else gets to carry around and feel and look important. Yes, The Undertaker is challenging AJ Styles for the two-week trophy gauntlet match trophy, whatever. The former WWE champion confirmed on his Mixer account, his Mixer channel, weeks ago that he suffered a separated shoulder in the Royal Rumble. Styles took a bump inside the ring. Upon Edge coming back, landing roughly on his shoulder, taking the spear, Styles put zero blame on Edge, saying that it was all his own fault. AJ also mentioned that he hopes to have a chance to wrestle Edge in the future. I think that will happen eventually. The Undertaker last made an appearance this past year on the September 10th episode of SmackDown where he was interrupted by Sami Zayn. That was at Madison Square Garden, I believe, when everybody thought it was going to be The Fiend setting up a match for the Survivor Series, but we got Sami Zayn instead, which made absolutely no sense. So they clickbaited everybody to buy tickets because the Undertaker was advertised for at Madison Square Garden, SmackDown, September 10th. Good job there, WWE. Awesome. Undertaker hit Sami Zayn with a chokeslam after Zayn asked him to leave the ring. Undertaker has not wrestled since teaming up with Roman Reigns to beat Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre in a tag team match at Extreme Rules in July, which was, I gotta admit, a decent match. Undertaker did not wrestle at WrestleMania last year, making it the first time he did not wrestle at the company's biggest show since WrestleMania 16, and that goes all the way back to 2000. Now, while speaking, this is another subject, but it maintains the same subject context. Moving on from AJ Styles and The Undertaker, while speaking with Flow WWF, I don't know who these people are, nor do I care, Adam Cole, baby, was asked who he would want to face at WrestleMania. It did not take him very long at all to pick a name and explain why he wants AJ Styles at WrestleMania. So if I could have a WrestleMania match, he says, with anybody right now in WWE, really in the world, I would love a match at WrestleMania with AJ Styles. I've wrestled him enough times before. He's one of the absolute best I've ever faced, but I've never beaten him. He's a guy that I definitely want a chance to get in the ring with. To me, when I think of the top three performers in the world, AJ Styles is always on my list. He's just an unbelievably great athlete, and I think we could really have a great match, especially on a stage like WrestleMania, so AJ would be my pick. End quote. Now, this plays very well into what I have been thinking all along. I might be in the minority here. First of all, before people start complaining about me that I'm nothing more than a fucking negative Nancy, if this match was announced, I would absolutely be intrigued about what they could do here for WrestleMania, okay? To me, and again, I might be in the minority here in this situation, This match does not interest me. I know a lot of people are in the same boat together, and that boat is sailing down the I don't want to see The Undertaker wrestle anymore. I think The Undertaker should retire. See. You don't want to see it anymore. You don't want to see it anymore. There are people who still take great value in The Undertaker being at WrestleMania. There's nothing like an Undertaker WrestleMania entrance. The Undertaker is one of the greatest of all time. He wants to go out on his own terms. He doesn't want anybody telling him what he can and cannot do. By the time he's 80, he'll still be wrestling. I am not interested in this match because I don't see how it benefits either one of these guys. Now, does The Undertaker want to work with AJ Styles? Probably. Does AJ Styles want to work with The Undertaker? Probably. It's probably a mutual thing. The Undertaker is not going to work with just anybody at WrestleMania. He's not. So this might be a Undertaker thing. I want to work with AJ Styles. And we don't know why The Undertaker would want to work with AJ Styles. I could assume why. I could come up with reasons why he would want to work with AJ Styles. The Undertaker is, especially at WrestleMania, so prideful on his work. He hasn't had that WrestleMania match that really, embodies what The Undertaker did at the end of his career at WrestleMania. The Shawn Michaelses and the Batistas and the Triple H's, right? All those matches were phenomenal. As far as Undertaker matches go, the one with Edge, the one with CM Punk, those were some of his best matches ever. The Undertaker wants so badly to get back into shape, to feel good, to be at WrestleMania, to really make an impact again at WrestleMania. He doesn't want to go out, as this decrepit, broken down version of The Undertaker that we've seen at Super Showdown against Bill Goldberg, right? This is why he had the match with Roman Reigns. He wanted to come back and redeem himself. Undertaker had nothing to do with that storyline. Him and Shane McMahon have been in the past, and they teamed him up with Roman. Why? It was a mixture of two things. One, he wanted to get back in there and kind of wash that bad fucking taste out of the Goldberg match, out of his mouth, And then two, they were having trouble selling tickets to that Extreme Rules show, so they needed something for people to hang their hat on. Oh, I want to go watch this match. Undertaker and Roman Reigns are teaming up? Okay, let's go. So it was a mixture of two things. He wanted to wash the taste out of his mouth from that terrible Goldberg match, and WWE needed him to sell tickets. So they got a 2-for-1. Undertaker got what he wanted. WWE got what they wanted. And that's the facts, folks. That's the facts. Undertaker's so prideful on his work at WrestleMania. He hasn't had that WrestleMania match. He might, deem AJ Styles safe enough to guide him, good enough to guide him, great enough to guide him to a match where The Undertaker could look fantastic. There's not many guys on that roster that you're going to look at to guide The Undertaker to a great match that The Undertaker is prideful of. The other thing might be AJ Styles. He looks at AJ Styles as being the safest guy to carry The Undertaker to a match, Undertaker worthy of a WrestleMania match. He might deem AJ Styles safe enough to take care of him in the current state that he's in right now. Maybe he can do things with AJ. Maybe AJ can help him do things that he would not be able to do with somebody else. Those are viable reasons why he might want The Undertaker, or why he might want AJ Styles, rather, for WrestleMania. Now, I am not interested in this because, WWE is going to hype this up as first time ever. I don't give a shit. Undertaker and Sting is a first time ever. You know it's coming eventually, but that doesn't mean I want to see it. AJ Styles and The Undertaker, I've seen people already on Twitter saying that this is going to be their bathroom break. When have you ever said that about an Undertaker match or an AJ Styles match? Now they're in the ring together potentially at WrestleMania and it's going to be your bathroom break? Not really a good start there. I am not interested in this match. First time ever, I don't care. If this was maybe 5 or 6 years ago, maybe. Not in 2020. I don't care for it. I don't think there's a story there that is going to get me, oh my God, I have to watch. This is the one match out of everything that I want to see. No. I don't think the story is there. What is the story there? Nothing. The story there is first time ever. And that's not good enough to get me 100% invested. The reason why WWE is doing this is because they are lazy and they are uncreative. I would not want this match. How does this benefit anybody? How does this benefit AJ Styles? AJ Styles, the OC version of AJ Styles, and I hate saying this because AJ's fucking great. The OC version of AJ Styles has been a loser. He's been mishandled. The Undertaker, listen, he's my favorite. Him and Shawn Michaels are my top two of all time. I don't want to see The Undertaker in a state where he's potentially going to go out there and have a bad match. I don't want to see The Undertaker have a good match. I want to see The Undertaker have a great match. I don't want to have The Undertaker at WrestleMania because it's simply WrestleMania. I want it to make sense. If you're going to use him, stop using him for the sake of using him and stop using him for the sake of WrestleMania. Use him where it's going to benefit a younger talent. Now, Aleister Black is somebody that I mentioned. Right now, with what he's going on, his gimmick, what he's saying, he wants to pick a fight with somebody. It's WrestleMania season. I don't know who better to pick a fucking fight with than The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I think that would be great. You got Aleister Black's entrance mixed with The Undertaker's entrance. You got this eerie vibe. You got two fucking stone cold looking motherfuckers in the ring. Death personified between Aleister Black and The Undertaker. The visual alone sells the match. And Aleister Black is 34 years old, who is just now finally getting a break on the main roster after being wasted for an entire calendar year, sitting in a fucking broom closet, counting how many bristles are on that fucking thing. Aleister Black could benefit greatly by delivering a black mass to The Undertaker 1, 2, 3. You don't think fans are going to look at Aleister Black even greater if he beats The Undertaker? You mean to tell me Aleister Black, who's no slouch himself in the ring, is fucking great? I mean, he's not AJ Styles. Nobody's AJ Styles. But Aleister Black is no slouch in the ring. Who's to say Aleister Black won't be safe enough for The Undertaker in the ring? Who's to say Aleister Black is not good enough to guide The Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania? Who's to say Aleister Black is not that guy to take The Undertaker and allow The Undertaker to do things that, whereas if he was in the ring with somebody else, he wouldn't be able to do it? I think Aleister Black embodies the perfect WrestleMania opponent for The Undertaker, not AJ Styles. There's more to gain by Aleister Black beating The Undertaker than AJ Styles beating The Undertaker or having a match with The Undertaker. This is only being done if it's going to be announced, if it happens. It's not confirmed yet. The only reason why it's happening is to get The Undertaker on WrestleMania, to have WrestleMania with The Undertaker, to give him another WrestleMania match, to get a first time ever, because you know they're all over that fucking cock. First time ever. But it benefits nobody. And the only other thing that I can envision seeing, and this is how I would book it, if you're going to go with The Undertaker and AJ Styles, clearly the OC are not going to have a match. Gallows and Anderson are not going to have a match at WrestleMania. And if they do, they'll be in the Battle Royal, and they'll be eliminated in about 60 seconds. Gallows and Anderson are definitely going to get involved in this thing. It's going to be a 3-on-1. It's going to be a 3-on-1. No question. So this is what I think WWE is going for here. Because they're going to get a twofer. They're going to get a 2-for-1 in this deal. AJ and The Undertaker potentially leads to a big 6-man tag at another Saudi show somewhere down the line. AJ Styles is going to have the OC interfere, help him win this match, or, be that fucking thorn in The Undertaker's ass. Undertaker's eventually going to get help from outside sources, whether that's Kane. I could see Kane getting involved in this thing. Kane was on WWE TV. There's no reason why, if he was on TV in January, he wouldn't show up in April. I mean, it's WrestleMania season. WWE wants to make this thing the biggest it could possibly be. Sting reportedly is cleared for a WWE return. Talk Sport and Alex McCarthy reports that it's rumored that Sting is medically cleared for a return to the WWE ring. He could have a match at WrestleMania. He could have a role at WrestleMania. And a lot of people are saying if he's cleared for a match, it should be against The Undertaker. Rumors are running rampant that he's cleared for another match, medically cleared by WWE for a match. And if WWE could pull this off, it could be big money for the company. Now, if The Undertaker is going to be down in a 3-on-1 situation, Kane might not be involved, but who's to say Sting doesn't show up to help The Undertaker and have The Undertaker's back? Can you imagine The Undertaker being beat down by AJ Styles and the OC, and out of the fucking darkness of the Tampa Bay night inside Raymond James Stadium, the lights go out and fucking Sting comes walking down the aisle. He comes fucking floating down from the rafters or whatever with the black baseball bat, and he fucking beats the shit out of AJ Styles, Gallows, and Anderson. I mean, it's money. If The Undertaker and AJ Styles is happening, I am betting the money, all the money I got, the house, the kids, the dog, the wife, the car, the cat, everything. Everything. On Sting being at WrestleMania. He might not have an active role in the ring like he wants with The Undertaker, but I see Sting having a role in this match. Baseball bat, trench coat, and all. I see him backing up The Undertaker here at WrestleMania. Whether that leads to a match with The Undertaker at the next Saudi show, or that leads to a 6-man tag with AJ Styles and the OC versus The Undertaker, Kane, and Sting at Super Showdown. Because you know that alone has fucking Saudi written all over it. Undertaker and Aleister Black is the match that should be booked. Where does that leave AJ Styles? Adam Cole. Adam Cole asks for it. Adam Cole wants it. Give Adam Cole AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Aleister Black and The Undertaker should be a done deal at WrestleMania. He's calling out people. All you have to do per storyline is have him call out The Undertaker. Undertaker shows up on Raw, stare down, match made. That's all you need. There's nothing else resource-wise that needs to go into that. It sells itself. He's already set it up. Just include The Undertaker. Now with AJ Styles and Adam Cole have one thing in common, and that one thing is the Bullet Club. Simple. This could lead to a brand warfare or faction warfare on Monday night that actually has real-life historical implications. Adam Cole and AJ Styles at WrestleMania. You eventually get Gallows, Anderson involved with O'Reilly and Fish. Whoever you want. Add Roddy into that. I don't give a shit. You got the OC versus the Undisputed Era. A historical fucking way back of the Bullet Club. You know, with Adam Cole and AJ Styles being the figureheads of the Bullet Club. Why? Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you explore that for WrestleMania? And the story is easy to tell. The story is very easy to tell. We have a pay-per-view coming up on Sunday, NXT TakeOver Portland, where Adam Cole is defending the NXT Championship against Tommaso Ciampa. I will be here on YouTube in the afternoon and on Sunday night talking about the show. And it's easy. Adam Cole inevitably is getting called up. The Undisputed Era is inevitably getting called up. I feel like their demise is upon us. Roderick Strong already lost the North American Championship. And I feel Adam Cole is going to lose the NXT title, and I feel like the Undisputed Era are going to lose the tag team titles. I think at the end of this show, they will be title-less. It's easy to set up. It's easy to sell. Adam Cole could have the Undisputed Era come down and have him, last chance, last-ditch effort, help him beat Ciampa. But out of nowhere, we get two guys jumping them from the crowd and stopping them as they get to ringside. Remember when Gallows and Anderson attacked the Usos coming in from the crowd? Recreate that, but have it be against the Undisputed Era in the final minutes of that main event match with Tommaso Ciampa and Adam Cole. Who is it? Who are they? What are they doing? What is the reason for this? And they start brand warfare. They're the reason why Adam Cole lost the NXT Championship. They get called up. Adam Cole figures it's Gallows, Anderson, and AJ Styles. He shows up on Monday Night Raw. He confronts them, and we're off to the running. And have it be similar Bullet Club-like masks. Because he's only going to think one thing. He's only going to think a few people only that would do something like that, wearing similar fucking gear like that. And then you're off to the running, whether you want to do Adam Cole versus AJ Styles or the Undisputed Era versus the OC at WrestleMania. I mean, Adam Cole and AJ Styles in itself is a better match than that entire fucking card that you have speculated already put together. Why would you do AJ Styles and The Undertaker when there are two other options right in front of you that I booked perfectly waiting for you besides that match? It doesn't make any sense. It benefits nobody. It benefits nobody. The Undertaker and Styles doesn't make sense. There's no story there outside of, oh, it's the first time ever. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Fucking build this shit up with stories. You got enough time. Don't tell me there's not enough time. And whatever you do at WrestleMania with Styles and Cole, it could bleed on in through the rest of the fucking year. That's what I would like to see at WrestleMania. If we go Styles and Undertaker, Sting is going to be involved. Kane potentially might be involved. It's got Super Showdown, Crown Jewel, Saudi implications written all over it. Adam Cole and AJ Styles is the match that should be made. That's it. I don't know what else to tell you. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know how you would book all of this, whether you want to see The Undertaker and Styles, Styles and Cole, Undertaker and Aleister Black, or any variation of the three. You can even do Aleister Black and AJ Styles. You could do Aleister Black and AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Any one of those combinations work. Any one of those combinations makes sense. The Undertaker and Styles is not interesting enough for a WrestleMania match. It's built on nothing. Give me substance. Guys, I'm getting out of here. That's it for Off the Script this weekend. Episode 313 is in the book. I will see you right back here live tomorrow afternoon for TakeOver pre-show. We'll go over the conference call. We'll shit on WWE some more. We'll go over some NXT news, preview and predictions. Take your super chats. It should be a good time. So make sure you guys tune in to that. Don't have a time yet, but follow me on social media. I'll fill you in there. At JD from NY206. That is on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram as well. At JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And if you want to check out all the other content that you might have missed on the channel, including yesterday's Off the Script and including the SmackDown review, links will be down in the description below. Guys, I am getting out of here. I'm going to have my strawberry cheesecake burliner. Tavor, download the app, use code SCRIPT to get $10 off an order of $25 or more. Join me in some cold beverages, man. Make sure your fridge is stocked for WrestleMania season with Tavor. And I'm getting out of here. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys right back here for Sunday. We got live stream going up in the afternoon talking about TakeOver, and I'll see you guys right back here on Sunday night with a full and detailed review of NXT TakeOver Portland. Until then, have a great Saturday, guys, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for TakeOver in Portland.